Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Contingency Plan Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me, as always, is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
Well, Darth, we are back for another week. We didn't skip any this time, right?
I mean, we skipped technically, but the audience doesn't need to know about that. It's still on time for them unless you forget to upload it Sunday night.
Yeah, I was thinking about this at one point. You remember when we used to try and do like advanced shows? Like we would try and record like a couple at a time.
Yeah, I kind of miss that. I'm not going to lie.
It's just, it really takes a lot of the topicalness out of stuff, but like, cause we were trying to make up, like, oh, how's your week going?
How's your week been? And
I mean, it's like
the same.
But it was the same. It's the same. That was back when we were just doing books, right? I think that was just
we would
books.
record it was mainly when we were doing chapter by chapter readings.
Yeah. I think that's right.
And we would make the council and everything and the Newsnet, like half of the episode, which we were pretty lengthy back then to begin with. A lot of those hit like 2 hours for a chapter.
Yeah. Remember when we actually had segments on the podcast?
Yeah, when we were actually legitimately the detail guys, because, I mean, we dissected every freaking word in those chapters.
Yeah, very true. Very true. But now we are just the pseudo detail guys. We don't really care much about the details anymore. We just, throw stuff up against the wall and see what sticks, right? That's kind of what the show is now.
Yeah,
just
kinda.
garbage.
I mean,
garbage
we haven't lost our soul at all, but I mean, we're not chugging it 130% anymore either.
Well, the thing is that like, when you look at like data and so forth, we actually crossed, as of this week, 25,000 downloads on the show.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it
less
is.
Than what, 3 years now?
It's been, I mean,
Less than
it's definitely been a while, and it was pretty slow in the beginning, which I mean, we've never really cared about. But like, I know for a fact that the shows give us a huge bump, and we've had, we've had a pretty good run of shows because like even the Book of Boba Fett, some of those episodes have way more downloads than anything. And I'll tell you another thing, statistically, people really seem to like listening to those darn New Jedi Order like recap book things because those actually do pretty well too.
Well, I'm glad. That is the whole point we got into this. I'd be pretty sad if that was the worst rated portion of the whole show.
It's just funny what hits and what misses, because like I'm trying to think of some of our recording order, but like there were a couple that like just fell flat because like the Book of Boba Fett, the season finale, that one did really well, and whatever we did the week after that was just didn't get near.
I don't even remember what we did. I think we jumped back into a book, but
I feel like I think we took some time off. I feel like we might have taken a week or something off.
That's kind of when everything got crazy, and we had like 2 weeks we couldn't record.
Yeah, might have. I feel like that's the case, and then we came back with the High Republic and so on and so forth. But yeah, no, it is funny how full circle New Jedi Order does kind of come back through, and some and it's like there's such long pauses in between that. We're in what book? What was that? Book 9, 8, 9. We're only like halfway through.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
That's wild. Well, anyway, guess what we're doing now?
Not New Jedi Order.
No, but another book. So,
yes. And guess what we're going to do after that? More Boba. And then another book.
Yes, exactly.
Just waiting on Kenobi.
Yeah, so this week is Mission to Disaster. This is Justina Ireland, part of the New Jedi Order. Excuse me, the High Republic. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. This is a part of the High Republic. 200 years prior to everything. It's fine. And we kind of get back with Vernestra and Emery Quinteros, who, I don't know, we were both pretty high on Vernestra, the first, whatever the first book was that she was in. What was the first book?
I had her biography pulled up with all the
A Test of Courage.
Yeah.
So as a Test of Courage was the first book, and that was like definitely a young person's book. Even the binding
not a
on that
terrible
darn
book.
thing.
And we were just talking about this. I mean, they've all hit well. All the young adult teenage novels have been pretty consistent for the most part. I don't think we've rated one poorly.
No, I don't.
We might have skipped one or two, but
Well, we skipped maybe like Crash Point and I think one other one, and then I don't remember. I think that audio.
did we skip Crash Point?
Yeah, we never read that. That was the first book with Ram. What is it? Ram Jam Your Ram or something like that? Who we?
Black Betty, Ram Jam.
Oh, jeez. Well, Ram was in the last High Republic book that we went through. So
I think we had even talked about skipping this one at one point. Honestly,
I think so. I think we had kind of said that, but it was a short book from an audiobook standpoint, just over 5 hours. I mean, I know you listened to it at hyper speed, which still is weird to me.
No, it's only like 4.5. So
what?
Yeah, I do 1.25 usually.
I was like 4.5. It's like what
4.5
4.5 speed. It's like, what are we talking about here, man? But yeah, it's a relatively
Everyone
short.
Sounds like friggin' hamsters.
Yeah,
talking as quick as possible.
Keeler, I'm gonna say Keeler Lee. It looks like Keeler Lee was our narrator, and I do have to say this before we kind of jump in everything. Really made Emery sound like the kid he was supposed to be.
Yes, and Avon is awesome through this narrative.
I actually like the portrayal, her portrayal a lot better than some of them. She did a darn good
and
job.
I don't remember how much I liked her in Test of Courage, but I'm sure not as much as I do now.
Well, let's see who narrated that.
I just mean the character in general.
No, I actually want to know. I get you. I actually want to know. Oh no, it was Keeler Lee who did that one too. So what was the other one? What was,
really?
Let's just click on Justina and see what all. Of course, she's done Out of the Shadows. That was the other one. Out of the Shadows, the one that we didn't like, and it was Keeler Lee. Interesting. I don't know why. It just sounded different this time.
Yeah, everyone kind of sounded a bit. I feel like she probably made everyone except for Emery a bit older.
Maybe
a little more mature.
Maybe. I just think Emery got like really young. It was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't weird. It was just different. But like I said, I thought that the vocal performance, the actual narration was pretty good. In this,
I can't really
book.
think of a single performance I didn't like. Even like the droids were pretty tolerable.
No doubt. So there you go, Keeler Lee. Good job. So anyway, now that we've discussed half of the book, how's your week been?
Not too bad. I was really proud of myself. I managed to read or listen to 2 books in a very short amount of time, and I totally meant to. Except I didn't, because I thought we were going to go over Kenobi this week. And it took about 2 days. I finished that, and I looked at my text with you and realized I had another book to read. We actually ended up pushing it back a day because of that and a few other reasons. And yeah, I mean, other than that, week's been pretty uninteresting, dealing with trying to get some insurance going in a few different facets of life, and more application stuff for school because, it'll never start. Just
Yeah, sounds pretty boring. So how about the fact that you totally just blew over my text and, just read 2 books because, you're dumb.
yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Super mean. Yeah, no, it was odd because we had talked about this book, and then we were kind of trying to get a game plan for the next couple weeks. It's like, well, let's do Boba Fett, like a recap, which is what we're going to do next week. And then let's also do the Kenobi book before Kenobi drops. Cause I've been wanting to do that for a while and it just never really sunk in for us. But yeah, I got this inkling cause the Darth did send me a picture. He's like, this one, from Audible. It's like, it was this one, right? And I was like, yep, it's that one. I got to thinking, it's like, I wonder if he's going to read that book. Nah, he wouldn't do that. He totally knows what's. Nope, he didn't. He read both of them. Thankfully, this one was shorter. Because what's a Kenobi?
Yeah,
is that 10?
Kenobi was about 9 or 10, actually 10 or 11 hours.
Okay, so not terrible.
At my speed. So,
oh, really?
You know,
Is
probably
it
about
longer than
closer
that?
to 12.
Okay, I'll be darned. Let me look at that. Let's get a little.
Well worth it though.
Advance.
I mean, great. Well worth every bit of it.
Yeah, this is one. This is one that a lot of people. Yeah, 13 and a half. There. Oh, Jonathan Davis. Okay, is the narrator for that one. Yeah, the 2013 Kenobi book. I think a lot of people really enjoy. Hell, on Amazon, it's got 4.6 out of 5. Just there. And yeah, there are some people that don't like it, but generally
Those
speaking,
people are wrong.
well, generally it's okay. Some people don't have to, but I think generally people do enjoy this, and I just figured it'd be a good fit because obviously we're going into Kenobi, but just in Kenobi news, I don't know if you saw this, but they're pushing back the premiere by 2 days. So instead of the 25th,
really?
it's going to be the 27th, and they're going to release episodes 1 and 2 on that Friday.
Oh, nice.
I don't like that personally. I don't like dropping
I know you
2
don't
episodes.
like the binging, and we'll have to at least spread that out a little bit. But
Nah, I mean, we'll discuss episodes 1 and 2. I don't particularly like that. Have we had a show that's done that lately? I feel like we had. Was it Bad Batch that did that? I think it was Bad Batch that did that.
For some reason, I'm thinking it was a Mandalorian season.
It might have been.
Maybe Bad Batch.
Might have been. It was one of them somewhat recently. So
I know that Clone Wars did that.
That might have been it. Season 7?
7.
Yeah. Okay, that might have been the one. Well, regardless, I'm not a big fan, but it'll be fine. I mean,
It seems like a bit too much of an apology for a 2-day pushback.
Well, I don't know exactly why they're pushing it back. I think let me actually look one thing up here.
Maybe another big release the same day that they don't want to coincide with.
Well, so here's the thing. So Star Wars Celebration is going on May 26th to the 29th, and I'm almost wondering if they're going to do something on that Friday. Like during
exclusive viewing or something, maybe.
Well, maybe not. Maybe. Actually, maybe. That would be kind of cool if they had a room set up where a bunch of nerds could just watch it. But, like, I don't know. Maybe there'll be something else coming out at that time that, like, coincides, perhaps. Like an announcement, maybe, of something.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. I mean, there could be a comic come out that kind of ties into it. There could be a bunch of different things. Maybe some... I don't know.
I don't know.
We couldn't really re-release another lightsaber to go with it or anything like that, but like merchandise-wise, there'd be some options. Maybe a new area of the park.
Well, yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, dude.
Or maybe they just want, honestly, maybe they just want the Friday release date instead of Wednesday. Which I'm fine with. Yeah. I prefer Friday, personally.
It makes a little bit more sense. If I'm being honest,
Yeah.
It does make a little bit more sense to me doing it that
Wednesday
way.
Was nice for our recording schedule, but it was always to me kind of an odd time to drop everything, like especially for Book of Boba, because I just feel like no one ever watched it until the weekend. Of course, it's Book of Boba, so
aside from podcasters, really like be fair, it's always the podcasters that are right on it, right?
Yeah. Although I'll say that even with podcasters, Boba Fett seemed a bit delayed. Like it took a little bit longer to get episodes out. Because I would typically listen to a couple of podcasts discussing the episode before we record, and it was pretty barren for Boba.
Interesting. Well, it was the greatest show that they've ever put out. So I don't know why that would be. And I think, wasn't it? Did they see Moon Knight was out on Disney Plus now this week?
Yeah, I think it is.
Let's see about that. Oh boy, not super high rating. So yes, apparently it is 7.5 out of 10. Yeah. So episode 1 dropped today, or no, yesterday. The goldfish problem. The goldfish. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is very interesting, but obviously starring Oscar Isaac, not Isaacs, Isaac. Learn how to speak.
We always say that.
Oscar Isaac, who played Poe, and so yeah, which I gotta say, I'm glad that he's getting a bit of a Hollywood run, because you know how sometimes Star Wars can kind of ruin you, but
I feel like he's gonna be the Ford of the group. I mean, he's gonna keep going.
Well, I certainly hope so. I was happy when they had him in Dune. Obviously, you know, I mean, Duke Atreides, you know, he was kind of, you know, spoilers, murdered. But anyway, yeah, he's also going to be doing the Metal Gear Solid movie. So he's Solid Snake.
I didn't even know there was going to be a Metal Gear Solid movie.
Yeah.
That's news to me. That's cool.
Yeah, I guess it's well, at least showing here pre-production. So it's,
yeah, I could see him with that bandana hiding under a box. Why not?
I'm personally down. He's doing something with Coppola.
Really?
Francis and the Godfather? Is this like what, the making of the Godfather? Interesting. Yeah, I'm just happy to see him out there. I mean, I think I don't know. I think he was good. I think he was good. Now I would like to kind of see John Boyega get picked up on something interesting. Yeah, because Adam Driver's had his runs.
Instead of getting like pushed into something stupid like sitcoms or something. I hope he gets something good.
Well, I mean, it would make sense.
He's a great actor. I mean,
he really doesn't have a ton. I mean, there's some stuff here, but it's nothing I've heard of. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But you know, Adam Driver's had his run with some leading roles.
Yeah, I haven't really watched any of his stuff. I would like to.
Well, he did that one yell at his wife movie. You remember the one where he yells at his wife, The Marriage Story, that's what it's called. That was actually the same year as Rise. And then there was that House of Gucci movie, I guess, and then like I don't know, he's got other stuff going on, so I think he's
House of Gucci. I saw the previews for that. That honestly, it looked intriguing, although it's not really something I'm really all that interested in.
Yeah, I'm not that intrigued by it.
Ultimately, like I'm not going to Google the family and learn about them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about any of that. So anyway, yeah, good stuff from Oscar Isaacs. I mean, I eventually I might flip on.
You said it again.
What?
You said Isaac.
Well,
again.
too damn bad. So yeah, I'll try.
But between that and trying to watch Batman, I guess I'm going to be doing some superhero shows for a while.
I just don't know anything about Moon Knight. I don't know why he's supposed to be cool. I fight it in the light of the moon. I don't know anything about him. Cool name though, Mark Spector.
I want the dude from what is it, the Hornet, with the little butler dude. Is it the Hornet?
What are you talking about? What, Seth Rogen playing that thing?
Yeah.
It's a Green Hornet.
I want a movie about his side. Yeah.
Well, Bruce Lee played the sidekick in the original. It was like the original TV adaptation. The guy who played in the Seth Rogen movie was the dude from the burger movie, White Castle movie. John Cho, I think, that guy. You know, from the White Castle movie, and the dude who
Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, Harold and Kumar. There we go. Yeah.
Harold.
Yeah, Harold.
Good old Harold.
Yeah. So I didn't watch that. I don't really like Seth Rogen. I don't think Seth Rogen is funny. I never have.
He is a very specific type of comedian. Like you have to be He's not. You have to be very specific to like him. So I get that.
I mean, no, I get why people think he's funny. I've just never thought he was funny. I'd rather have the other guy, Jonah Hill, yeah, from Superbad.
Yeah.
I think he's funnier. So anyway, that's a lot of off the rails there. You think we're done getting off the rails? You gonna watch Moon Knight now? Then Moon
I'm
Knight
gonna
it
go see
up?
Batman.
Yeah, you might as well. You might as well get out there and see.
I've heard good things about it.
Let me know when you watch it, and we'll discuss if you want. It's a movie. Yeah.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah. I saw it. I saw it when it came out. All I gotta say is it. I mean, like the Nirvana soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
I got a healthy laugh out of some of the music in there because it's like it's not that it doesn't fit, but it's just like I feel really odd. Something in the wind. You know, it's just like 90s grunge going on in Gotham.
The only thing I'll say is I have a chip on my shoulder already. And no, it's not because Twilight. Because I've heard multiple people now say that our big baddie is better than Heath Ledger as far as performance goes.
No.
And I don't think you're ever going to beat the Joker, Heath Ledger.
No.
It's impossible.
That's a bit ridiculous. I will say though, because it's the Riddler, that's not a mystery. That was in the previous.
Yeah.
It is
mystery.
Yeah, exactly. That probably was the best it was probably the best job of doing the Riddler. You know, there are some things that were a little mad, but the guy who played the Riddler played the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So I'll give that.
Didn't it have the Penguin in it too?
Yeah, Colin Farrell played the Penguin, and apparently there's probably going to be like a Penguin show or something like that. He did a good job as a Penguin too.
Colin Farrell just should be the Penguin. He looks like the Penguin.
But the thing is
like,
he had a
picture.
prosthesis on the whole time though, so he doesn't look like Colin Farrell.
For his nose? Or for his
face.
The entire face?
Yeah.
The whole thing? Really?
Yeah, he speaks in kind of like a, you know, an American sort of New York-y kind of accent. Doesn't sound or look like Colin Farrell at all. Like you wouldn't know it was Colin Farrell unless you knew it was Colin Farrell.
Right.
But he did a great job. Yeah, it was good. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all I got to say is back muscles. So anyway, you'll know. You'll know what I mean when you watch it.
Not nipple armor.
No nips. No nips this time. Just anyway.
You got to ease into the nipple armor.
Look, I'll just say this. Like, I think that it's cool to see a big old buff Batman. Not like Ben Affleck, but just like because Ben, I mean, it's the chin. The Ben chin was not right for Batman. No offense, it just wasn't. I'm not saying he was bad or anything. It's just the Ben chin.
Yeah,
just
but he
didn't
could
work.
stab someone with that chin.
No. It just you get lost in the dimple. It's what it is. But no. I get a lot
he
of.
should have dimple armor.
Oh,
instead of nipple armor.
You know what? Honestly, dude, that could be like a fashion trend. You know, like grills were a big thing. You just get like a little gold piece in your dimple or something like that. Okay.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we please talk about Star Wars?
Yeah, let's Star Wars it up here a little bit with Mission to Disaster.
All right, Kenobi.
Now I'm telling you, man, it's coming. It's coming up. We'll get there. So Mission to Disaster, the book where we have the cover of Vernestra like trying to slice a couple of alligators with 4 eyes. What the hell is with the alligators?
I don't know, man, but why can't we just get the whip? Like,
I think she uses it at least once in the book.
I'm just saying, like in the art, why can't we just get the whip? I mean, I know it'd probably look kind of awkward, but I want to see more of the whip. But yeah, this was a very, very odd cover. I don't get it.
Yeah.
They weren't even in the book.
What's that?
Were they?
The whip?
The weird alligator.
Oh, the alligators? No, I don't think so. I don't remember them at any rate. All right, so look, we're all converging on the disaster at Starlight, right? So this is pre that. It kind of ties into it a little bit. So we're still just chugging around this one issue that just doesn't really feel like a really big issue. Starlight Beacon. What was that book called that Starlight finally went down? Star Down. Starlight, Beacon, Dead,
Falling Star.
Falling Star. There we go. Something about star.
I'm not even confident about that.
I think
I'm just pretty sure it's Falling Star.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. That sounds right.
That's probably what they said when they came up with that name too.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, The Fallen Star. So yeah, most recently we've done The Fallen Star and then Midnight Horizons, which I've instantly forgotten. Look, I don't care about Starlight Beacon. I never have. I never thought it was that cool. I never cared about it at all.
Do you think we're ever going to get to a point where we don't have to hear about Starlight anymore?
No, because wasn't it in a like a current timeline book where they talk about Starlight Beacon? Like, so they had to make another one. I'm pretty sure we read.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure we read it.
Yeah, there was I can't think of what the book is now.
You're going to hurt your brain. Yeah, you're going to hurt your brain trying to think about that. So I'm pretty sure
details.
I'm sure they'll have another Starlight Beacon. But I guess before we sort of just spoil the living hell out of everything, first impressions of the book. What do you have first impression wise?
Ending kind of dragged a bit, but ultimately it was a decent book for what it was. Avon was really, really cool in this. Kind of get into that teenage trope of like kids outsmarting supposedly the smartest people in the room a little too easily. But other than that, it was a good story. It was entertaining. And it was the perfect length, I think.
Yeah, I do kind of agree with you on that. I think it was a good length book. I had read a couple of just sort of general reviews here and there that, had kind of said to the effect, kids are smart, kids deserve smart books. And a lot of people kind of pointed out that, the kids here were smart. They weren't bumbling, fumbling children, which, I mean, is good. And here's the thing. That's not unique. We read plenty of books as kids where the kids figured it out and the adults are dumb and they're stupid. And, you have kids and we've watched Stranger Things. Look at how many times, kids are just out there fighting like literal monsters and stuff. And like, you just have the sheriff with the revolver. He's like, the dad guy. So
the dad guy who's also a Russian superhero.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he hasn't snapped out of his what is it, subconscious training yet. He hasn't activated the cell. So
yeah, sleeper agents, man.
It's like I want to introduce you to my other family that I have here. These are my two not Russian children. They're totally.
Is she an assassin? No.
Don't
worry about her.
They're totally sisters for sure. And this is kind of my wife.
Just.
By the way, I sometimes fly planes.
What's the main character's name from Stranger Things? The boy. Crap, I can't think of it.
It's supposed to be coming out though. It's pretty soon.
Yeah, it has been announced. But I imagine him looking at. Black Widow, like, are you my sister now?
Oh, God, stop. Just knifes him.
But yeah, no, that is coming out soon. I am excited about that.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and dive in here a little bit. I don't know. Where do you want to start here? We've got training montage with Emery and Vernestra. There's that. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, that is basically the beginning. We might as well just jump right into it. Jump.
Yeah, so she's doing the Skier treatment, just exactly what Skier did to Kyiv. Even get a little mention of Kyiv there.
Yeah, which was cool, but we won't see her in the book, obviously, because that would be way too cool.
You can't cross over comics and books.
Yeah, except for Avar and Stellan and Elzar and Skier.
You know what would be a really
everybody else except for Kyiv.
You know what would be a really cool book if like Vernestra and Kyiv went out and had a mission together. That'd be cool.
Why couldn't that happen?
That'd be sick.
You want to talk about strong female characters?
Yeah.
There is your duo. It's not even Avar anymore. It's just them. They are awesome. Maybe throw in the Sparkburn girl.
Oh yeah, Jordana
in it or
Sparkburn.
something. Yeah.
We actually have another Sparkburn in this book. I brought him up. He was in the Jedi Temple on that one planet. Come on. Oh yeah. So, oh boy, I do not remember this guy's name from the book. Yakik.
Yeah.
Yakik. I don't remember. On down.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those moments I recognize that we were talking about Sparkburn, but I didn't catch the name.
He cooks.
Couldn't even guess the pronunciation.
He cooks and he has really juicy berries.
Oh, that's a Sparkburn.
Yeah, yeah. So he cooks some stuff.
They only mention like once that he's a Sparkburn.
Yeah, it's like, hey, here are these berries, but like, watch your tabard. Sometimes they get a little juicy.
Don't get staying, all Sparkburns or I don't remember which way that goes.
Yeah, all Sparkburns are Santecas, but not all Santecas are Sparkburns, or like.
Or was it the other way around?
Like the other way around, brother. Well, let's move on here. So we do have training. Emery's not really figuring out the jumping, falling thing, which we've now seen from Ben from Kylo Ren. We had that in the comic. Also had it, partially in the movie. We've seen it with Keeve. So this is a big thing to the Jedi, learning how to not fall to your death. We had it in, what was the book where we were kind of off in that little frontier? Where we first met Bell, because they were kind of, remember they were sort of like, free jumping.
Yeah.
Whatever that book was, it doesn't matter. It was like a long time ago. It was like the second book. What was the second book?
Yeah.
Whatever. So anyway, it's a big deal to learn how to fall gracefully.
Yes.
And Emery's not really getting it, but
it's kind of weird. They set up this training montage like it would be a big portion of the end of the book where he would have to overcome his shortcomings,
that's right.
but then they didn't do it.
They didn't use it
but
at
he
all.
learned. But he figured it out right then and there. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that would have been a good payoff, wouldn't it?
I mean, sure, they skipped a trope, I guess you could say.
Sure.
But I like those kind of tropes in books.
And by the way,
especially young teen books.
True. By the way, how many times did we mention food in this book? Like, I think Justina was hungry.
Noodles.
I think she was just hungry when she was writing some of these chapters. Like, I really want some noodles.
How many times did Emery be like, but why'd they have to destroy the noodle stand?
Yeah, it's like, God, was my favorite noodle cart. Like, why'd you have to destroy it?
It's like getting into anime stuff here. It's like,
that was a little
here,
weird.
I made you noodles just like the noodle cart. I hope you like it.
I hope you like it. Yeah. Oh boy, I added some juicy berries to it. Yeah, that was interesting. But that was the same thing we got in the Batu book. Black Spire, because it was all a setup for the park.
They were trying to sell that. I'm surprised with how much they focus on food. Ronto wraps, baby. I'm surprised with how much they obsess over food in the Star Wars books that we don't have a line of Star Wars food.
I think it would get cheesy. That's kind of like Kiss syndrome. You know how like Kiss had everything, marketed, and then it was all just kind of junk after a while to people. I don't think you want to market it. And there's a ton of Star Wars stuff, but yeah, I think it would be
make it like subtle, like just in the Disney stores or something.
Well,
not actually advertise it.
Right. Well, if they were smart, what they would do is do like Mr. Beast did with those Beast burgers, and apparently now he has like a chocolate bar. Like you do,
oh really?
Yeah, you do like a limited run Ghost Kitchen stuff or whatever. Like some of that, like just younger people thing. I mean, that'd be a meme. That'd be something for people to jump on, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever book comes out, they kind of focus on a food, and then they just have it for a little while. Just that food.
Well, I was actually going to say this. So I got into an app here recently that does basically it's NFTs. It's like but it's largely Disney based NFTs, and they have a couple of like Star Wars NFTs on there. And they go for crazy prices. Like there was one I was looking at. It was it was like a golden R2, and it's like like $4,000 and crap like that. Yeah. People want out and stuff.
It's not even. It's crazy because like it's not even real. You don't even I mean, you own it, but you don't own anything but a line of code, essentially.
Well, look, I'll tell you what. I now own exactly 2 NFTs, and one of them is.
Did you spend like $10,000?
No, dude. It was like the cheap kind of starting price stuff. You know, I just got lucky. One of them is Jaylen Brown blocking a guy in a game when he was in college. So, and Jaylen Brown plays for Boston. So I have that one moment, and that was pretty cool. The other one was something else. But anyway.
But you're not Snoop Dogg's neighbor?
No.
You weren't the one that bought that house?
Nah, dude. Nah, not this time.
That's disappointing. That was like a
can't just
$500,000
house.
house.
Tell everybody secrets. So anyway, back to the book. We're getting really sidetracked. So we have training montage, and then we have an attack on. Oh shoot! What was our planet that we were attacked on?
I have that pulled up.
Hey, you did it! You looked it up. I'll stall for you while you pull it up. Do you have it yet?
Port Haley.
Port Haley. There we go. We've heard of Port Haley. So yeah, they were attacked.
Yeah, actually, Vernestra was stationed there.
Right, exactly.
For most of her knighthood.
Yep. And they stole some kids, and one of them was Avon Staros, who we first met.
Senator Staros' daughter.
Yeah, Gira Staros, who is the
not evil.
Yeah, the total Martian lover. Just loving that blue, man. She loves it. Yeah, so Avon is kidnapped. Now, this is something that I want to talk about. Why are the Nihil kidnapping children? Like, is this how they recruited that many people over time?
I would say it wasn't. They're just now doing it because they are extremely desperate.
Yeah, it seemed a little odd because like they didn't really have any conditioning. I think that they were just trying to tap into like, kids' nihilistic tendencies or something like that. I mean, that didn't make a ton of sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, you can only do so much in a kid's book, obviously, but it would have been nice to actually see the conditioning, like actually make it look legitimate. Like, oh yeah, I can totally see Lorna D going through this process, and that's why she is the way she is, or something like that.
Sure.
But you don't really see any of that. You just see the kids kind of imprisoned and then freed, and what Avon goes through is completely different. I mean, she's rare breed.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have to deal with that for very long.
Right. Well, the thing is like out of the 4 children that Avon was with, only one of them technically turned. Like
right.
Well, in quotations, wanted to join the Nihil. Basically just didn't want to get beaten or thrown into a mine or sold off into slavery, which those were some pretty heavy subjects to broach in a book, because they talked a few times about being sold. So that was...
even Avon's like, well, at least I have a chance to escape slavery.
Right.
I don't have a chance here.
Well,
which is heavy.
Exactly. And Avon, who had attempted to escape a couple of times initially, we get a character, Diva Lompop? Deva? I feel like Deva was how it was. Anyway, she was the one who had like the multicolored feather hair.
Yeah,
that you're not supposed to ask about apparently. Who could
that supposedly eats people?
Who might eat people even though they're roughly human size.
Yeah.
So anyway, she was kind of a cool character, kind of a little playful. Called Avon Pup, little pup. It's like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm not doing anything. You're totally going towards the cockpit to get to the relay. We all know you're trying to communicate. Right. It's like, oh, you got me. Hey, go fix the engines. Okay.
I had a theory.
Yeah.
And it's going to help you guys.
And so Avon is actually at one point brought in front of our Nihil leader of the moment, who we haven't heard of, but it's a Koran, Kara Zu.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about Kara Zu, to be honest with you, because I just don't...
Not much happens with Kara Zu,
yeah.
So I mean...
Nothing much happens, but she is the leader of Tempest, and I guess she took Pan-Ada's place.
I would have to assume. Of course, now we'll be replacing, what's his name? The mech suit dude. Didn't he just recently die too?
Oh, that's right. He did. Yeah, in our last book, Avar, like, just murdered him. Yeah, good time. Well, I don't think he was he a Tempest runner, though?
Yeah. He jumped in right after Marcion killed the one that he thought murdered his father. He's the one that replaced him.
So he must have taken.
He was fighting with Pan-Eta quite a bit.
Well, so the original, it was Kosov, Pan-Eta, and Lorna D. So
correct.
When
Kosov was killed,
Kosov was basically sacrificed to the New Republic, and then so that guy jumped in, and then Pan-Eta jumped out, and now we have Karazu. Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, there we go. So we now understand some of the Nihil structure, I suppose. Super cool.
Only took 5 books and minimal effort.
Yeah, I guess.
Literally.
So anyway, we have this whole basically encampment for children, and we learn that, Dauna and a couple of other systems, but Dauna specifically, have been seeing a lot of disappearances. And Vernestra, who is now aware of Avon's kidnapping and feels responsible, they pick up that robot. What was our robot's name?
J6?
Is it J6, J7? J6. J6 is the robot. So this was the nanny bot.
Yes, the nanny bot that apparently can have feelings and is sentient, but we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been kind of a weird thing in Star Wars where, you broach the line between just AI and actual sentient robots and so forth. Because, look, we've followed around R2 and C-3PO for tons of movies, K2SO and Rogue One, and any number and mannerism of sassy droids and whatnot. R4, Obi-Wan's droid and so forth. I don't remember owning a droid. Well, you did. Well, you didn't own R2. Yours was R4. We get it. That was Anakin's droid. But anyway, yeah. So J6 is a murder bot who wants to murder. It craves death. It craves blood. I want to murder all the Nihil because I am a murderer.
Just not children's blood. Because I'm a babysitter.
I'm telling you, like, Avon might be Dexter, dude. She might be one of those, like, Dexter children who's, like, programming her bot to do evil for her. It's like, well, I can't murder them myself because I'm just a child. J6, how would you like to have a bunch of blasters in your abdomen? Sounds pretty sweet. Okay, well, here's murder protocol.
Does it help me babysit better? Yes, yeah. It helps with babysitting.
Well, yeah. But being a senator's daughter, I guess it's, kind of good to have a bodyguard who can do stuff. So they pick up J6, they go to Dauna, and we meet a couple of Jedi here at the temple, but eat some juicy berries, meet the politicians, and we realize that everybody's really shady.
Very.
Oh yeah, by the way, we meet Honesty again. You remember Honesty?
Just barely.
Oh boy, Honesty. What was his last name? I wish things were in like an actual alphabetical order,
or like by appearance.
That would be pretty cool too. Seriously, what is his? Is it just not here? Honesty Weft. And this he was in Test of Courage, right? He was one of the kids in there.
Yeah, one of the 4.
Yeah.
His father was murdered in the initial attack along with Emery's master.
Yes, was it Doug? Wasn't it Doug?
Yeah.
Douglas.
Yeah. Douglas.
Just Doug.
Yeah, just Doug.
Yeah, Douglas Sunvale, which coincidentally...
Sunvale.
Yeah, Avon, when she is captured, says that her name is Avon Sunvale. So kind of smart.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sweet last name, too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Honesty shows up and tries to help out his friends. And even he notices that the politicians are, what was it, a governor or prime minister, what, it doesn't really matter, a politician, was acting shady. It's like, what's going on? Well, we kind of learned that politicians are effectively feeding children to the Nihil because they're kind of scared.
Yeah.
So, and then we meet our doctor, who might have been interesting if they had actually did more with her.
Could have been one of the coolest Nihil characters, honestly.
You remember their name? I didn't bring her up, unfortunately. Oh boy, here we go into the futile effort of trying to figure out names. Oh boy, there's so many names too, and it's like, it's terrible. It's terrible to try and find these. Oh, the worst part is, I found it. Zandy Mumkampa.
Was that it?
Zadina Mkampa. Something like that. But the doctor here is essentially a weapons expert, and her story's kind of interesting because, like,
she essentially created the fog of war, but before joining the Nihil, she was a part of this. I forget the planet, but a revolution, and she was a bombs expert, and she made a good living off of that until the resurrection was stopped or insurrection was stopped, and joined the Nihil afterwards.
Yeah.
I can't think of the battle.
The thing is she's not really even like a Nihil. She's more of just like.
Well, it's kind of like what's our other character's mother, who is also a scientist?
Yeah, who got cut in half the last book.
Yeah.
Elzar just totally went ham on her and just denied her completely life. Yeah, I mean, if Boba would have been around, he would have just, got a steampunk group together and they would have put her back together again, but no Boba at this rate. Yeah, so the doc here is pretty cybernetic. Honestly, towards the end of the book, it made her sound like she's almost all cybernetic.
Yeah, and it's weird because I don't know if you got the feeling, but through the book, it almost seemed like, and not necessarily that she was feeble, but like older and not necessarily capable of fighting. And then she just, goes full Megazord and just stomps on everybody for a minute until she escapes.
Yeah. She's
got a literal hand cannon.
Right. No, she's actually pretty BA. And the thing is like, I think, or at least I guess my hope is that we set her up to be, kind of maybe the next baddie.
Yeah. Only problem I had was how easily she was fooled by a child. Albeit a child prodigy. I mean, Avon's extremely intelligent, but
no, I kind of had the same thought too. I was like, you weren't like double checking her stuff. Like you didn't think about this at all. I mean, she
even acknowledged like the two theories that Avon was attempting to combine were like proven wrong centuries ago, multiple times, and.
Yeah, it was a little strange, but I mean, okay, whatever. I don't want to like over exaggerate it too much. It's okay. It's whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
And another thing, as far as Avon goes, maybe I just don't remember Test of Courage, but does it feel like they stepped up her intelligence quite a bit from that book?
Yeah, I would say she seems very much more versatile. Like there was even a part in there when she was on the Nihil ship and she was talking about the comm system. It's like, oh yeah, on these older ships, they tie in the long range with the short range to have like only one power source. And I totally know this because I have studied everything. It's like, what are you talking about?
Like,
who would know that?
To the point where you know that a board game uses the same circuitry as the...
I don't know what your...
that was so cringy.
I don't know what your mental picture was, but my mental picture was just... They dumped out a box of Tiger Electronics games just all over the place. Like, play Mortal Kombat on Tiger Electronics gaming.
It's that,
thing.
or like freaking electronic battleship or something stupid.
Yeah, they didn't just give him a bunch of Nintendo Switches. This is totally Tiger Electronics.
Well, it's like, these security systems totally use the exact same technology as a child's game.
Yeah, that was that.
What?
There were a couple of little stretchy moments there, but yeah, I do agree. I think she's displaying a lot of intelligence here, which is pretty fantastic. I'm game. I'm game for that. And I think another thing that kind of changed up a little bit was Emery, because Emery's not necessarily as like touchy-feely, sad-sacky as he has been.
Yeah, he's reined in the empath.
Well, it almost feels like he's finally found his place here. You know, it's like he and Vernestra worked out their little, pre-master Padawan jitters in the last book, and now they're just kind of moving along.
Yeah, I mean, the progression of powers in this was interesting because we also had that with Vernestra, the whole hyperspace visions and everything's brought up and actually utilizing it instead of letting it happen to you. And I like the progression of the characters.
Yeah.
Like I said, they feel older. They feel like they've actually filled out a bit.
Yeah, I would agree. So let's see here. So the whole idea that the Nihil have is they're making bombs, or our doc's making bombs. And
through kyber crystals.
Well, synthetic
kyber crystals.
Cracked synthetic kyber crystals that Avon suggested they use. Now, in the test, it actually worked. They were able to produce a device that generates earthquakes, essentially.
Yeah.
And then when they go off to test the big bomb, which Avon has stuffed full of extremely cracked crystals, it blows up. Basically, it blows up right in the doc's face. And this is where we're kind of getting towards the end. It's like, she seems like more of a machine at that point.
More machine than man.
Well, machine than man. But unfortunately, there's still seismic activity. We still have tectonic shift, it looks like, which you'll have to remind me, because it felt like that was all dealt with. Like, I don't even know how it was dealt with. Did they deal with it, or did it just stop?
Well, no, they didn't really deal with it as much as they brought Starlight to deal with it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
dealt with after the book, before Fallen Star.
Yeah.
The interesting, I don't know, maybe that wouldn't be all that interesting to read about, but
I would.
Yeah, that's why I kind of said that the book kind of dragged on in places at the end where you're talking about things that aren't interesting at all,
Yeah, I guess.
How do we move Starlight and all that? Like, this is how they used to do it. This is how we're good.
Sure. Yeah, we can talk a little bit.
Leave that doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit. I mean, we did go back to Starlight. Emery basically does make the suggestion to bring Starlight to Dalna. And you're right. I had forgotten about that, because in our next book, that's where they were. That's where we were having this whole thing, going down. And and now it makes me hate that politician even more that we were dealing with in Fallen Star, because now we know the backstory that they're basically terrible people. So yeah. We did go to Starlight. We did get this whole thing about the towing, which I didn't really. It made it sound really weird in the book. I almost felt like they were using like actual tow cables. It was like, what?
Well, and they had talked about doing it the old-fashioned way before. Most ships had hyperdrives that were gonna basically leapfrog using tractor beams, but then we don't. We use cables, which how's a cable gonna hold up in? How's any of this gonna work in hyperspace, really?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like, you're going to have 13 ships in very close proximity going through hyperspace together, holding.
I don't know, dude.
Maybe I'm not versed enough in those sciences and all of those studies, but that just seems like it would not work well.
It doesn't necessarily seem like it would work well. We were talking before we started recording. I think one of the things that I didn't like, though, was how quickly they dismissed people who didn't want to help. It's like, first of all, this isn't an everyday run-of-the-mill sort of favor to ask people. And I suppose there's even a bit of a smack of pride here where it's almost like they expect people who kind of take the hospitality of Starlight Beacon to then help out Starlight Beacon. It's like, that's not how giving works.
Right.
You know?
Here, I gave you something. Now pay me back.
Yeah. So
not with money, but with favors.
Right. So I didn't really enjoy that all that much. It was rather benign, but the thing is like, it's dangerous. Why would I want to risk my ship? I mean, well, we talked about it in Fallen Star. There were a lot of people who didn't want to leave their ships because they were their livelihoods. So to put them at risk, it's like, well, okay, you don't want to help. Like, get out. Here's your chance. It's like, wow, that seems kind of rude.
You know, another thing, getting really off topic, but it was kind of something that I thought of while we were talking about it. So this whole kyber crystal thing and synthesizing kyber crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still living beings of the Force if they're synthesized? Like, are you murdering straight up thousands of kyber crystals? Are they all being corrupted?
Well, that's kind of an interesting point because no, I think it was literally just, like a full-on reproduction. And this was of Emery's crystal, right?
Right.
And I think in that respect, they were almost going sort of like prismatic with it. Like there was a specific, some sort of property of the crystal, not inherent to the living structure of kyber, but to like just the geometric properties or some sort of like mineral properties of the crystal that would somehow channel energy, something like that. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of missing the point of the kyber crystal. So all these synthetic crystals, and this is something that, oh boy, it's popping in a memory. I probably don't, have enough base knowledge here to really think about this a lot. I do remember that the Sith used synthetic crystals at times.
Right.
Which the funny thing about that is we've made such a big deal out of the Sith breaking kyber, effectively cracking it to make it
corrupting
it, make it sort of bleed red. No one makes me bleed my own blood. And of course the page doesn't want to load because it's a piece of garbage. But yeah, anyway, so there is lore surrounding like synthetic crystals and like actually being used. But from my understanding, it made them more unstable.
Yeah, which is kind of a laughable portion because Avon's explaining how like they could just randomly explode, and that's why scientists would never like sell them to the Jedi or whatever, because then their lightsabers would explode. That's like, well, what Jedi is gonna buy a synthetic kyber crystal anyway?
Well, the point is that the Jedi wouldn't, because they have the sort of living connection with their kyber. And I think that the whole idea when this was all brought up, I'm just like trying to real quickly. Here's a quote from Pablo Hidalgo. No, the synthetic crystal thing is Legends, Maul, Sidious, Vader. All those were kyber crystals. So he's kind of saying that, from a canon standpoint, that's no longer a thing. But let's see. So Shadows of the Empire had synthetic in them. Let's see here. There was some other stuff, but anyway, unstable, not suited. They don't have the living element to actually channel the sabers and the Force and all that stuff. So, aside from like channeling energy in some way, I don't really see how that works out. But there you go. That's a little lore building. So let's go ahead and keep moving here. So we rescue Avon. Everything's kind of cool. We tow Starlight Beacon to Dalna, and that's kind of where we're at towards the end of the book, right? I mean, what am I forgetting?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to add. There's a little implication that Avon might suspect her mother.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, because
Her
she
and
she
Emery
says
are
some stuff.
talking, and
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and like essentially most of the galaxy has no idea what happened, like including like the entire Republic.
Yep.
Like there's no reason that senators should know about what's going on. And she just shows up randomly all nonchalant about it, just excited to see her daughter. And she excuses herself, walks with Emery. It's like, well, why don't you want to hang out with her? Why are you worried about me? It's like, because I have something to point out to you. Like, how does my mom know about any of this? Nobody told her.
Right.
Why is she here? And it's pretty ominous. Like, it's a good setup for the scene.
Do you think that Girastaros was actually worried about her daughter there? Because I assume this wasn't a part of the actual plan. It was just kind of like random.
Yeah, I mean, everything we've heard so far, especially with the Marchion portions, indicate that she didn't think about putting her daughter in danger and thought she'd be safe. So I would say that she would be worried about her, but she didn't seem that way when she interacted with her.
Yeah.
It was just kind of one of those normal greetings, like nothing happened. Like, oh, you weren't kidnapped
Right.
by the Nihil at all. Like you just happen to be here for no reason.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, man. I mean, I think she probably was worried, and it could be one of those things where she turns back because maybe she gets angry. But the thing is that we saw her in the subsequent book after Starlight, and she's with Marchion. So the thing is that apparently she didn't care at all, which
Right.
makes her
And yet
character
again,
even that
she's
worse.
flabbergasted at the thought that her daughter might be in danger. It's like she's already been in danger multiple times. And you kept siding with them like things were going to change.
Right. Yeah, very true, man. Very true. So anyway, I don't know. What else is there? What else is there to this book that we need to digest?
Yeah, I have a 5-hour book. I think 40 minutes of discussion is pretty good.
Yeah, I think so
we've
too.
kind of touched on everything.
Sweet. Let's give up then. Okay. Well, I suppose at this point it's a good enough time to sort of jump into ratings. You know, out of 5, what's your rating and why?
Out of 5, I'm going to go with around I'll do a 3.9.
Okay.
Good book, nothing spectacular. You know, we didn't have really a whole lot happen, quite honestly. I mean, we had some major events with a planet that will probably be okay near the end. Didn't have a lot of loss of life. We had a little character development with 3 characters that I really like, and I guess I could say that it was cool to see what happened with Honesty, even though Honesty just wasn't really my character in A Test of Courage. All the voice acting is amazing, and if you're an Audible fan, obviously it pertained to you. Yeah, I mean, it's a good little serious story for a teenage audience that was a little bit heavier than what we've seen in the past, dealing with topics like slavery and whatnot. And all around, it was just a solid little 5-ish hour book. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing super amazing. I can't really like talk about the story all that much. We had some potential with a character that didn't work out with our big baddie, which kind of hurt the score a bit. I kind of would like to see a little bit more menace from that, you know. My only big complaint with the book was just how incompetent it made the Nihil look to be bested by a child. Albeit a child prodigy, I will give Avon that, but this doctor is set up to be this hyper-intelligent character, and she's bested by a child.
Sure.
Essentially.
Sure. Okay. No, I think that's fair. Realistically, you're right up there with Goodreads. Goodreads is a 3.9, 514 ratings. Amazon has it at 4.3. So yeah, I mean, I kind of echo some of those sentiments. It was good to see Vern kind of being a little bit more or less uncertain. You know what? I will say this though. I think we need to kind of get over this whole sort of thing about being miffed about the nickname Vern. You know what I mean?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's been a thing. I mean, it was said several times in this book, and it's been said all along in anything. So it's just like kind of like get over it, or just start telling people, no, don't call me that anymore. Like, let's just settle that, because it's kind of gotten old. You know, I think that they sort of age scaled everybody a little bit better in this book too. That's just my read on it. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a decent read. It wasn't anything super crazy or anything like that. Like, nothing was necessarily ground shaking aside from the earthquakes. So, I mean, I'd probably be somewhere maybe. I'd probably just give it maybe like a straight up 4. I think a 4 is adequate. I don't want to. I don't think it's. Yeah, I think a 4 is pretty okay for that. It's a decent book. Okay. It's a short read. You know, it's a little bit more grown up than perhaps some of the other ones have been. But yeah, no, it's not bad. Not a bad read. Not a bad read.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So there we go. Mission to Disaster, right? What else do we have to talk about? Anything else we need to roll through before we start heading out for the day?
No, I think we can leave the office, man. I think we got everything done we needed to.
Sweet.
Probably the shortest episode we've recorded, right around an hour.
Yeah, a little bit shorter. So yeah, anyway, folks, I don't know. Have you read the book? Still haven't really seen a lot of High Republic stuff out there, like people talking about it, which kind of stinks in a way, you know. But yeah, if you have read it, we'd love to hear your thoughts, or just thoughts about anything. You can find us on Twitter at TC Plan Podcast, Facebook, and if you just want to write us a big old email. Love to, I don't know, just what do you want to talk about? Talk to us about what you want to talk about, unless it's inappropriate, and then those things go in the junk folder or spam folder or just straight in the trash. But that's tcplanpodcast@gmail.com. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap her up again. One more week down. Y'all have a great rest of your week.
And as always, may the Force be with you.